Sahana bhavatu Sahanau bhunaktu Sahaviryam karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sairam everyone.
Sairam.
I think the request was that we should try to cover as much as possible the prayers which we regularly use. That was the request, and a couple of the brothers had sent me a list of things which they would like to learn. So I was thinking what we should do for this class, and what came to my mind was that there is one mantra which we chant always. We may not be spending time, or we do not have full understanding of. We can never understand fully that, but I thought we will try to tackle that. The mantra is Om. When we start our class, we start with 3 Oms. When we start bhajan, we start with 3 Oms. Any activity, we start with Om. Every Ashtotra, in the Ashtotra Shatanamavali, every name is chanted with Om. All archanas are done with Om. So Om is a mantra by itself. And Swami has spoken about it on many occasions. So I thought we will start with Om. So I've tried to collect some material. I hope it is not too much. If we don't have to exhaust it in one class. I have some more material, but I have not put it here. But we will talk about it. I think it's universally every Hindu or Bharatiya or who follows Sanatana Dharma uses Om. And every Upanishad has spoken about it. In the Vedas, there are thousands and thousands of places where this has been discussed. As all of you know that in the Tamil, there is, at least in the Shaiva tradition, there is this story of Lord Shiva asking Subramanya or Murugan whether he knows the meaning of Pranava. And he's supposed to have explained. So he said, yeah, I cannot explain it to you unless you become my student. So he's supposed to have, even though he was a child, he became the guru for Shiva and explained what he knows about the Pranava. So there are many stories like that too. So I thought we will just cover Om a bit exhaustively because we all chant Om, and others may ask, what is this Om? And we will say, oh, the entire world came from Om. That was the creation and so on. So I thought we should know a little more. What are at least some things, which especially what Swami has taught, spoken about. At least a few things which Swami has spoken about. Okay, so Om is always referred to as Om Karam. Om, because that's such a syllable or one word. Kara means that sound. Okay, so Omkara is a very Omkaraha is the generally known name for Om. Just the way Akara. Okay, so Akara means the sound of A. So Om is a letter by itself. It's also referred to as Pranavaha, so which I have these names here. So Om, O, Ng, Ka, Raha, Omkaraha. Okay, Om, because the actually becomes which is the fifth letter in the Ka Varga, which is the nasal letter, Anunasika as it's said. So Omkaraha is the way it is written in Sanskrit and read. Another name for it is Pranavaha. Pranavaha. Okay. Pranava means there that itself has many meaning. Just for our purposes, it comes from a root called pru. Okay, pru. Navaha means that by which everything in this world moves. Pru itself means move or to go. That's the meaning of pru. So pranava means that by which everything in this world moves. It's pranava. It can always be said it's always new. That is also another meaning. But that by which it's continuously generating everything in this world. And everything is made to move because of this pranava. So Swami calls it the radiation from which the vibration comes. So Om, what we perceive is the vibration, but the radiation itself happens. That's what makes the pranava come out. Okay. So we will go to the next. Another name by which it's known is called Udgita. Udgita. Okay. U, Id, Gi, Tha. This is the second letter in the Tha Varga. So it's aspirated. Udgita. Okay, these are names which Swami has mentioned, so I am picking them up. These are three names by which this Om is referred to in the Upanishads, in the Vedas, and so on. So I've taken one sentence from one of Swami's discourse. Omkaram Sarva Vedanam. Okay, this statement was made by Swami in a discourse on the 1st of October 1987. I have picked it up from there. Omkaram Sarva Vedanam. Omkara means we have already discussed. Sarva means all. Vedanam means of all the Vedas. Okay, of the Vedas. Vedasya is means of the Veda, singular. Vedanam means plural. Okay, Vedasya, Vedayoho, Vedanam. That's the way it goes. Vedasya means for one Veda. Vedayoho means for two Vedas. Vedanam is of the all the Vedas. That belongs to all the Vedas. So what it basically means is Omkaram belongs to all the Vedas. That's one meaning. It can also mean Omkaram is the best among all the Vedas also. So that is the mantra which is the best among all the mantras in all the letters in all the Vedas. That is what this statement makes. Omkaram Sarva Vedanam. Sometimes we ask what mantra we should chant, what is the most powerful mantra? Swami has made this statement. Omkaram Sarva Vedanam. So Omkara, which is the sacred syllable Om, is the supreme mantra of all the mantras of all the Vedas. Okay, so that is the way Swami made that statement. Okay. Then I took the same discourse, and I have. I hope you all may think why I am quoting from Swami's discourse, but after all, this is for the devotees, and the whole purpose of learning Sanskrit is to understand what Swami has taught, so that we understand. So that was the whole purpose. So I'm just going to refer to this. I will just read it out for everyone's purpose, and then I will go on. Okay. This discourse is titled in the Sathya Sai Speaks as Pranavopasana. Pranavopasana. Okay. So the Pranavopasana is comprised of two words. One is Pranava, other one is Upasana. Pranava means we already know it's Omkaram. Upasana means the worship. How do we use it and pray? Okay. Or how do we pray to Om? Both it can mean. So Pranava, Upasana. Yes, worship of Pranava, worship through Pranava, worship with Pranava, however you want to use it. All of them are possible. Because this is a samasa, the relationship can be many. Depends on our own imagination and our own contemplation. See? And I will just read the discourse. I hope you do not mind. Hearken to the pranava that emanates. This is the Telugu Padyam of Swami. This is the translation. Hearken to the pranava that emanates from the heart of the cosmos. Vishwa Hridayamandu Vinipinchu Pranava. Like that's the way Swami is talking. Vishwa Hridaya means the heart of the entire universe. From there can be heard the sound of pranava. Fill your ears earnestly with its reverberations. Swami says, fill your ears. We should learn to listen to that pranava earnestly. Okay. Know that it is the wish fulfilling tree that fulfills all desires. That is capable of granting all the desires in this world. Forget not these wise words of good counsel. Swami says, never forget this. So he says, listen, try to listen to the Om which comes from this entire universe. Always fill your ears with it, and that will solve all your problems, all desires will be fulfilled. That is the Padyam of Swami. Then Swami goes on to explain, I would say, describe what this means in various words. So these are the few words Swami's discourse starts with. Vedanam Sama Vedosmi. Among the Vedas, I am Sama Veda. Proclaimed Gita Acharya Sri Krishna. So in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is telling Arjuna, among all the Vedas, I am Sama Veda. Vedanam Sama Vedosmi. We will look at these sentences a little later. Samna Udgito Rasaha. The essence of Sama hymns is Udgita, declares Chandogya Upanishad. Swami says, so Swami is telling in the Gita, it is one statement. Then in the Chandogya Upanishad, which is attached to the Samaveda, this says Samna Udgito Rasaha. Okay, the essence of Sama, which is Samavedam, the essence of that is Udgita. Udgita means again Om. Udgita means Pranava. Swami is telling Udgita means Pranava. The essence of Samaveda is Pranava, Om. Pranava is the very life breath. Omkaram Sarva Vedanam. This is what I had already quoted, Omkaram Sarva Vedanam. The scriptures have also declared that Omkara, the sacred syllable Om, is a supreme mantra in the Vedas. From this, it will be realized how supremely important the Omkara is in the eyes of the seers, sages, and what great significance is attached to it. The single syllable Om is preeminent among the letters of the alphabet. It symbolizes the Paramatma, supreme omni self. The Samaveda is the embodiment of Pranava. So this is a discourse Swami delivered in 1987. So there are many discourses on this. I just picked this up. See, I just wanted to stress on, because Swami said we have to learn Sanskrit, so we learn what is in the Upanishads, what is in the Vedas. That is one of the encouragements Swami gave. But in this discourse, you can see within the first few minutes or seconds, Swami has packed it with so much material, and he is referring to various spiritual texts. He is referring to Bhagavad Gita. He is referring to Chandogya Upanishad. Then he is saying Omkaram Sarva Vedanam. Actually, it is from the Atharvana Veda called, in the Atharvana Veda, there is a Brahmana called Gopata Brahmana. Okay, that is where the statement is made. So you can see how much of references to the scriptures is there. It is not reference. Every sentence of Swami can be found in an Upanishad or a Veda. I thought I would just demonstrate that with this. Okay. Also learn about Omkaram. So that was the dual purpose, because you should understand Swami, who dropped out of school from 9th grade, from a village where they did not have any facilities, no libraries, nothing. And he was able to speak in such a way that every sentence of his is from the Vedas or Upanishads. This is what the Vedic Pandits who came found, and they were mesmerized, and they became devotees. Because they couldn't believe that somebody with such vast knowledge from a village, illiterate village, can do it, is also proven here. So I thought I would just. So I've taken the word, see, each one I thought, I will take the original source, read the Sanskrit properly. So you can imagine how much of Sanskrit is in Swami's own discourses. Okay. Vedanam Sama Vedosmi. Okay, this is the statement. It is half of a line in one of the Bhagavad Gita shlokas. That Bhagavad Gita shloka is the 22nd verse in the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Okay, it's called Vibhuti Yoga. That is the chapter in Bhagavad Gita. In that chapter, the 22nd shloka. In the Vibhuti Yoga, Krishna says, among the months I am Margashira, among like that, he goes on to talk about who he is in this world. In everything I am something, among Adityas I am Rudra, like that, varieties of statements are made in that chapter. So in that, he is making the statement Vedanam Sama Vedosmi. Vedanam means of the Vedas. Sama Vedaha. So see, Samavedo is Sandhi. Because of Sandhi, Samavedaha and Asmi become Samavedo Asmi. Okay. We have discussed this. This S letter is called Avagraha, where it symbolizes the A is present, but the A is silent because of Sandhi. Okay. Samavedosmi. Samavedaha Asmi. So I am of the Vedas, Samaveda. Asmi means I am. The Asmi is just a verb. It implies I, because it ends in me. That means I am. I am doing. I am being that. I am being the Samaveda among all the Vedas. That's what Krishna says. Because the Samaveda is nothing but most of the mantras come from Rigveda. They are set to tune, to swara, multiple swaras. There are 7 swaras used in Samaveda. So it is made into a song. Sama means song. Okay. So the Lord himself is telling, I am the song form of the Vedas. You can say that also. So Srimad Bhagavad Gita Dashamodhyayah. Just Dashama Adhyayah means 10th chapter. Dashama means 10th. Adhyayah means chapter. Vibhuti Yoga. Okay. I thought I would just introduce that also. Vibhuti Yoga, because Vibhuti means is divine manifestations of the Lord. Yoga means how do we join, how do we find him, how do we connect to that Lord through all his manifestations. That is what that chapter of is meant to. Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Okay, this is the way it's written. Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita. So I've written in Sanskrit, so you all can read it and practice also. I think it should be okay. Please stop me if I'm going too fast, because I tried to pack too much material. Maybe that's what I thought. But I just wanted you to understand, also to read these great statements, because we cannot read all the Upanishads, all the Vedas. It's not possible. Learning from Swami itself is good enough. But the thing is, we should understand, Swami says, in our code of conduct, 9-point code of conduct, it says study of Sai literature. Sometimes what happens is we listen to a discourse and say, oh, it sounds nice, Swami, and that's the end of that. But proper study means we need to research. We need to go to the source. Why does Swami say Chandogya Upanishad? Why should he mention? Is it just a news item? No. That means it's a direction you go and study. Gita, Krishna has told me, then we have to find and search. See, in any normal subject which we study in the world, we do what's called research. If you're doing either any engineering or medicine or accounting, we will go and read other material to find more about it, so that our understanding becomes full. So even Swami's discourses have to be studied like that. We can't just listen and say, oh, it sounds nice, Swami, and we understand. We should put a bit more effort into study. So that is what I thought. I will just give some sample of how I have pursued and studied. So I thought I will just share, so that you should go and read the 10th chapter of the Gita. What is all Vibhuti Yoga? That is the way Swami is pointing us in the directions in which we can study and learn. Because we read so much in this every day. We take the newspaper and read this happened there, that happened here. But are we reading the scriptures and trying to learn? I think that's what matters. Okay, so we will go to the next slide. So I have taken this from the Chandogya Upanishad. Chandogya Upanishad deals with many things, and Swami has given us short summary in Upanishad Vahini. But the first part of Chandogya Upanishad talks about how we have to pray. There are many portions to Chandogya Upanishad. It's a slightly lengthy Upanishad. So I have taken a certain sentence where Samna Udgito Rasaha. Swami has quoted in his discourse. I'll just go back. Swami says, Samna Udgito Rasaha. That's the second statement of Swami's discourse. So I searched and I found in Chandogya Upanishad, where does it say? Okay. So that is the second mantra in the Chandogya Upanishad. Okay, I will just read out. I don't want to, I just wanted to point out a few things. So that was the whole idea. We will never be able to study the entire Chandogya Upanishad, then that will a few years. If we are going to go at this rate, it'll take a few years just to read Chandogya Upanishad. But it's an opportunity for you all to read, whoever is interested. I'm just presenting it. I will go through that. If you're interested, you can read. It's always good. At least if you don't read the entire Upanishad, at least one statement if you read, it's something. Esham bhutanam prithivi rasaha. Prithivya apo rasaha. Apo rasaha, sorry. Prithivya apo rasaha. Apamoshadhayo rasa. Oshadhinam purusho rasa. Purushasya vagraso vacha rid rasa. Richa sama rasa. Samna udditho rasa. This is the statement. It's a mantra. I would say there are two portions of it. How it has been done in Chandogya Upanishad. I've given the transliteration for anyone who would like to read. We will just look at the meanings. Esham bhutanam, of these beings. That's the best I could do in Sanskrit. Bhutana means the 5 elements, all the living beings. Everything in this creation is covered by the word bhuta. Okay. That whatever has taken birth, you can say. Okay. That whatever is created, whatever has come into being, all that is bhuta. Okay. Esham means this, all this, whatever we see around us. Bhutanam, Prithivi rasa. The essence of all this is earth. Earth is the translation which we use, but Prithvi is anything which is gross matter, you can say. Okay. Prithvi rasa, because it is very difficult to translate some of this in English. Prithvi rasa. Rasa means essence. Prithvi means earth. Oh, the most grossest element. Prithivya, of the earth. Apaha rasa, of the earth. For the earth, you can say from the earth. Apaha means water. Rasa is essence. So essence of the earth element is water. Apam oshadaya rasa. So if you say rasa, so apam means water. Of the water, oshadaya rasa. Oshadaya has been translated as plants. I have just used because oshada means even medicine, you can say. So you can the micronutrient in a plant, which has medicinal values, you can say. This is rasaha, that is the essence of water. Oshadhinam, of these plants, purushaha rasaha. Human beings are the essence. Okay, then you can say, how can we be the essence from the plants? Now, what it basically means is the food which we take is this, whatever comes from the plants. And that the essence of that, the nutrients, is what makes us as human beings. So we are able to function because of that, what comes from the food, from the plants. Okay. Purushaha rasaya. Essence rasaya means that is distilled. What is distilled from the plants is human beings. What is derived from the plants is human beings. Purushasya, of the human beings, vagrasa. The speech is our essence. Okay. Because of that, we are able to communicate. We are able to communicate thought. It's not only speech. Every vibration in our body is vak. Okay, everything is trying to speak, say something. Speech is rasa. Vacha rigrasa. Vacha means of the word. What is the purest, the best distilled speech is rig. Here it says Rig Veda have put. Rigs actually you can say rig just for so that you will understand that what it means. Veda is put here. I will just put it within bracket. So rig is the prayer towards the Lord. Okay. So among all our speech, the best is to talk of the Lord, talk of the truth. Swami also says rig means what is in our heart. Trikaranish, what you think is what you speak. That is also rig. Ritham, Swami also speaks about. Richaha, of this richa, what of the speech, Sama is the rasa. Even when we speak of the Lord, Sama, the song form of that is rasa. So that's the Sama Vedam itself. It's the essence of Rig. That's the best which we can get out of it. Samna, of this Samna, of this all these songs, Udgita rasa. The essence of the Sama or the songs or the songs which praise the Lord is all Sama Veda. Udgita Om is the essence of all that. This is what Chandogya Upanishad says. So you can imagine Swami repeated the statement which comes in Chandogya Upanishad in his discourse as a second. So when Swami gives, that's only the tip of the iceberg. So we should go and do the research and study. This is what I feel. Okay. So I hope I have not gone too fast. If there are questions, please ask. I will stop and go through. Yes, Brother Vimalesan.
Sairam, can you, no, the Omkara, we know, the Pranava, the words Pranava and Udgita, can you explain the words itself? That's, if you can.
Yes, yes. I did not prepare because then we are going to the roots of the word. So I mean, maybe I will just briefly say, if you all want, I will provide the material and go over that also.
No, at least a little bit.
So,
yeah.
okay. So pranava comes from a root word called pru. Pru means to go, to move, and so on. It's a verb. Na means karana. That means that which makes everything move. Na. Va means what means that it's filled with that. That's what it is. Okay.
Oh, okay.
That which makes everything move. Pranava. Okay.
Okay.
So Sairam auntie, you had a question, Kanagais auntie. I don't know whether she by mistake pressed or something. Yes, Sister Ananti, you have a question.
Sairam, in this particular, the line, it's just before the last line. My understanding, Veda is codified into 4 segments. I thought Rig Veda and the Sama Veda are 2 different things, but in that particular line, it says the Sama Veda is the essence of Rig Veda. So in this particular context, it means differently, or whether there is a connection between the Rig Veda and the Sama Veda.
Okay, thank you, Sister. Good question. So I will just first address Brother Vimalesan's question and go. So Pranava means that which makes everything move. Okay, that which is capable, and that is the one, that is the karana, that's the cause. And karana, okay, that is what makes everything in this world function. That is Om, pranava, pru, karana, okay. The word udgita comes, there are three parts to that word itself. But the center part, which is gi, comes from a root word called gau. Okay. Gau again is to mean move, go. Ud means to go up. Okay. To go up is ud. Okay. So udgita means that which is. Okay. So the sound Om is capable of taking us up, above, rise. So the way the Sama is chanted is called Gau. Apparently in Samaveda, Gau is the person who teaches how to chant. Even if you see Swami who has demonstrated how Om should be chanted, that means it has to go up and then come down. Udgita means that U which rises up. Make anyone rise up. Make everyone progress up. Okay, is Udgita. I think that's good enough for now because you asked the meaning. So Pranava means, Pranava and Udgita means the same thing. It has certain slightly different. So Pranava is a regular name, you can say. Udgita is Samna. The Sama is capable of taking us up. No doubt Swami has made us bhajan as a compulsory thing for us to use, so that singing the name of the Lord is nothing but Samaveda, if we understand the meaning and say. So that's my understanding. If you all want, we can spend more time on this. If you look at Kalpadruma, that's a nice work where they have analyzed this much in a deeper manner. That itself can become a class, so I didn't want to go into that detail. Yeah. But I thought, because you asked, I thought I will just.
Yeah, it's helpful. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So I will go to Sister Anandi's question. See, Rig Veda is different from Sama Veda, Yajur Veda, Atharvana Veda, all that is there. See, what the Veda Vyasa did was, he took the Vedas which were present and he categorized them into 4 categories. And one was in prose form, one was in poetry, one is in song form. Rig, Yajur, Sama. Atharvana Veda basically gave certain mundane applications of the same name, mantras. So if we look at all the Vedas, actually the same mantras are present in multiple Vedas in many different locations. So you will find that there is a lot of, if you want to say, commonality among all these Vedas. But how they are used is different. For example, Samaveda is about singing in the appropriate way to bring out the best meaning for the same mantras. Yajurveda is yajna, when you do perform homa and all that. How do you employ these mantras in the yajna is the main focus of the Yajurveda. Sama is describing, praising the Lord, Briggs. So the same concepts, the same mantras appear in all 3 Vedas. But because the Sama has the musical element, it has the maximum impact of that mantra from a sound perspective, even from a knowledge perspective. Because if the Vedas, if you just take the literal meaning of the words, there's one level of meaning. But that meaning is enhanced by what's called swara. There are Rig Veda, Yajur, they have different ways of chanting the mantra, which has what are called swaras, accents, up, down, it's data, anudata, swarita, dirgha swarita, like that. Okay. So these are various ways of accenting this mantra so that the maximum benefit from the sound is realized. But Sama takes it to the ultimate. The most refined version of the mantra is Samaveda. So what Krishna is saying, it is not that when you say Sama is Rug, the essence of Rug means, it's like, orange. If you take orange and the orange juice, both contain the same nutrients. But the orange juice is the rasa of the orange. If somebody says, how do I know orange juice is different from orange? Yes, orange juice is different because it is extracted from the orange. The orange come from the orange tree. So are they all similar? They are all same. The orange came from the orange tree. The orange juice came from the orange, which came from the orange tree. So you can say the Vedas are like that. All the ingredient is the same. Then somebody will say, in the orange, vitamin C is the rasa of orange juice. So is the vitamin C present in the tree, in the fruit, in the juice? It is present everywhere. Same thing with Om. I'm just giving a small analogy to explain it. So that is the way we should look at all these Vedas. So a person who wants to if you study Rig Veda, that's good enough. But then there are people who have studied all of them. The more you study, the better your understanding becomes, the better the effect of the, the nutrient itself. So that is what I understand from here. I hope I answered your question, sister.
Yes, of course. Now I understand thoroughly why Lord Krishna said, I am the, among the Vedas, I am the Samaveda.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, Sai. Yes, Sister Kalyani, please go ahead.
Sairam, Uncle, could you just repeat? You said that Vag means more than just speech. What was that? You said it also means vibration?
Yes, because Vag generally we understand as speech. But Vag is any sound. The Nadam, the sound itself, the Nadam which is spoken as well as not spoken. See, Vag we generally think is speech, what comes out of our mouth. But what we thought we should say, that is also Vag. Even in thought form, it is in a seed form. What came out is only what came out. But when we say speech, we think it's only what comes out of our mouth. But Vag is the words which get formed in your thought is also Vag. Because that is what's the power which comes out. It's like, is the tree is in the seed. In the seed, there is tree. Okay, because it is not, it is, it's a potential which is waiting to come out. That's what I meant. So all vibration is actually Vag.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
In the ultimate understanding of the word. Okay. It is not just external speech. There is internal speech. Like Om has a silent piece also. Om. We will come to that. I have not covered it yet. So there is a silent piece. That is also Om. So the same way speech, which is not spoken, also is speech. Others may not see.
Four stages of
sound
Vaikari and those.
Exactly, brother. Exactly. Yes, that's brother. So para pashyanti vaikari. Okay, so what is our external? What is in in the mouth? We mumble. What is in our throat? What's in our heart? All of them are speech. Okay, four manifestations. So that's a step. If anyone wants, we will do a study on that. Once we start, each one will go into detail. But we will. I don't want to say no, but That's what it is. I hope, Kalyani, you are fine now.
Yes, and if you could also just one part I missed. So for Udgita, Ud means to go up,
Yes.
and then Gi means
Gau.
Gau.
Gau. The Gi comes from the root Gau. Gau means again to move, to
move.
go.
And then what is
Okay.
the
Means that which is that, you understand?
okay.
Which which makes it, which is filled with that or that state, multiple meanings. Thak is that. So how it works in Sanskrit is there's something called Prakriti, the root. Then there are affixes added. Okay, and each of them have a certain meaning. So I will do if anyone is interested, I will do a slide next week, and we'll go over that if it's okay.
Okay, great.
Okay.
And just in this slide here, because it starts with Bhutana, doesn't that also include human beings?
Yes, everything.
But then later Purusha comes.
See, Purusha is not who are we? The human Purusha means the real us. We are not the body. Okay. So in whether it is Purusha means that divine aspect which is functioning in us. That is why that's called the essence.
Oh.
See, if I think I'm the body, I'm just living in it. The mind also I'm using it, but there is an essence beyond that, which is what I am. That is that Purusha. Okay, but the thing is that is also created from the original Purusha. Okay, that also has come into being. But so if you look at our external, we will say Bhuta. That's why we will in our languages we will say Bhudam pe pisasu, like that they will say. Even a person, dead person is some thing is coming. They will say don't worry, there's Bhuta. Bhuta is there means that which was existing is now there.
Okay, Purusha, I think we get confused because we use the word in the
common language.
Normal, but Purusha actually means Paramatma or the ultimate.
Yes, yes. Because we should not think it's a human, only males. Where is the women left? Not included. That Purusha means only husband. That some people say Purusha means husband or a man. It is not. It is Purusha Tattva, Paurushatvam. That means the person within everyone. In persona is the word in Latin. You can imagine, see the same root has come out in every language. Swami says persona. That means that being. Yes, please, Kalyani.
Oh no, so because would you consider it as the Jivatma, or is it
you can say Jivatma, you can say. Yes, Jivatma, that can be said. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Kanage Santi. Sorry. I think we have to unmute and speak, Auntie.
The last line, Udgita is the essence of Samaveda. Can you elaborate on that, please?
So what Swami says is, if you distill the Samaveda, just the way we squeeze an orange and get orange juice. If you squeeze the Samaveda, what you get is Udgita, which is Pranava. If you squeeze everything in this world, at the end what we get is Pranava. So generally we will say Pranava means Om. That is the way we see here is only some aspects of that Om. Swami will say everything in this world which vibrates, there's a frequency, that is Om. So ultimately the vibration, for example, if a music piece is being played, everything is a sound, it's a vibration. So what is the essence of music means the sound which is it's in consonance, it's in a shruti. So that sound in different frequencies, it creates this varieties of sounds, but ultimately it is sound.
So sound is everything.
Sound is everything.
So we go like this. Samaveda is the essence of Rig Veda, then Udgita is the essence of
Yes.
Samaveda. So everything is sound.
Everything is sound.
And the sound is Om.
Om. As we understand, Om means we understand, but there is a silent piece of that also, which is the ultimate one, which makes everything in this world vibrate, move, exist. So the creation itself means, Swami says, from radiation, the vibration came. Vibration came, from that materialization came. So everything in this world comes to be only because of that vibration. Because if you look at the physics, atomic physicists, they are saying atom is nothing but vibration. It's energy. Various names they give because they think there's no matter itself. It just matter is a manifestation of that energy. And that is how Einstein came up with E is equal to mc squared and so on. So this rishis have said. So
Thank you.
So I have now a discourse from 1992. Okay, I will just go over. It is 4th October 1992, Swami's discourse. Swami says, for all living beings on earth, earth is the basis of life. Life force for the earth is water. Out of water comes I think this I just got it from the discourse. I think I should have looked at it. Food grains. Okay, let's I will have to refer to the Sasyam. Sorry about it, because sometimes transcription in the discourses are not the best. If you'll just wait for a second, I'll just pause and come back, okay? Sorry, that's what it says, the discourse online. I will come back, but anyway, for our purposes, food grains is good enough. Out of water comes sasyam, food grains. Food grains sustain Purusha, man. The translation is a translations. Speech is the highest expression of man. Rhythm, the cosmic order is based on Vak. Rhythm is cognized in Riks. Rik. The beauty of Riks is found in Sama, one of the 4 Vedas. Omkara is the essence of Sama. So as you can see, this is actually the same thing which is told in Sanjogya Upanishads. What we read, you may have thought, why is Brother Arun not taking through all this? Just to demonstrate to you that Swami has basically given this from Chandogya Upanishads. I think this translation of explanation of Swami is a bit more meaningful, isn't it? So I just wanted to demonstrate how actually if every discourse of Swami, if we take, you can find every single word uttered by Swami is coming from a Veda or Upanishad. It can be proven. And so this is actually the second mantra in the Chandogya Upanishad in Swami's discourse. You can ask, how does he know? Where did he learn? Who taught him? For me, it took, months to search, find, and learn. But in 3-4 minutes, Swami has packed material from Bhagavad Gita, from the Chandogya Upanishad, from the Gopatha Brahmana, and so on. So we do not understand the value and the wealth of what Swami has given. But it also means that we have to go and do our own study. That's what I just wanted to demonstrate. This is all in English. You can read. If you have questions, you can ask. I just want to demonstrate how. So this is a discourse given in 1992. But in the 87 discourse, Swami only used one portion of that Chandogya Upanishad mantra. But in 1902, he has told the whole thing. So you can see it. Okay, so if everyone is okay, we will go to the next slide. It's already close to 10 o'clock.
I think
Somebody had something to say.
Brother Sairam,
Yes.
I think why don't we go in detail this Swami's discourse?
Swami, see, okay, fine.
Thanks.
Good. So I'm going to go back and forth between the previous slide and this. Okay. Esham bhutanam prithvi rasaha. Okay. Esham bhutanam prithvi rasaha is the statement in the Upanishad. And Swami is saying, for all living beings on earth, the earth is the basis of life. Esham bhutanam prithvi rasaha. So it means drinking the rasam of Prithvi only, we all live. Everything in this world lives. All this, everything in this world is able to exist because of earth. Because they eat from the earth, what comes from the earth, they sit on the earth, they live on earth. So they are nothing but earth. So for all living beings on earth, earth is the basis of life. So Swami is translating that rasaha as that which sustains everything in this world. We are able to live because of earth and whatever it gives us. Okay. So then the second thing is the life force for the earth is water. How is the earth kept alive? Is Prithvi Rasaha. Prithivya Apo Rasaha. Apo means water. Apo means water. Apaha Rasaha. Swami says life force for the earth is water. Okay. So the earth, so you can ask, how is earth? Water is the essence, because even when we say earth, even if we eat, there is water content of the earth, which is what sustains everything. Even for earth to, if anything to grow on earth, also water is needed. Without water, nothing will grow on this world. See, even as human beings, if we get dehydrated, we were done. We can go without food, but water content in the body is maximum, because water retains what is called prana. Okay, that's why when somebody even faints, we sprinkle water, because there is prana energy contained in the water molecule, which gets transmitted to the person, and the person absorbs it, and the person is right away awake. We'll say, oh, if he felt cold, so he came. No, it is the energy which gets transferred from the water molecules into the person. That's the science based on Vedic. Okay. out of water came food grains. Swami says. So the plants grow because of water. The nutrition in the plants, Oshadha, you know, so if you go back to the one, Apaha, see, Apaha Oshadayoho Rasaha. Apam Oshadayo Rasaha. Spotlight is not working. Apam Oshadayo Rasaha. Means Apa is water, Oshadaya is plants. In this, Oshadaya is plants also. That's what here I have said. It's a general term, you know, it's very difficult to translate in English. So the nutrients in the plants, you can call, all come because of water. Okay. Food grains, that means which can make us sustain, live. Then food grains sustain man. See, anyone is able to live because of the nutrients in the food grains. Even for me to think or talk or anything like that, something has come. So what came from the food grain means the nutrients and the prana both come from food. Even water which we take comes from, when we say water, not the gross water, there's a water element which comes from the plants and juice and so on. So even to absorb nutrition in ourselves, water is essential. Water soluble, or, you know, oil. Actually, water, when we say water, it includes oil also. Anything which is liquid. Okay. Then Swami says the essence of man, speech is the highest expression of man. So which is what we saw, Vag. See, if I am a human being, if we just sit in one place, others will not know who we are. Only through our communication, our essence, best of expression comes out. That comes out as speech. Vag. Okay. So that is the next sentence.
Brother, one
Yes.
more question, please. Can you go back to that next slide, please? The Purusha sustain, the food grains sustain Purusha.
Yes.
Then how that is related to Atma? The Purusha is the, we said it's Atma too, right?
See, Jivatma is the concept, you know. So the thing is, if I am Jivatma, I am able to live in this world and exist in the world because of the food I eat. Even an embryo in the stomach, in the womb of the mother, grows because of the food. It cannot come into existence without food. If the mother does not eat, the baby is not born. The infant will not grow, embryo will not grow. So what is growing? It is not the hands, feet. You know, we are not the hand and feet. There is a nutrition which comes from food. That's what makes us be alive, be able to speak, be able to walk. So food is the grain which sustains even the Jivatma. Sorry. Even to exist as a Jivatma, we need food. Okay, without that, it will not possible. Okay. Oshada means it medicine, food, water, everything. Okay. It has to come into us. That is the only way we exist. That sustains it. Then speech is the highest expression of man. So for example, the best we can do to somebody else is to speak. Otherwise, the other person, we cannot connect to the person. So you can say it's Vag is the expression which connects people. Even animals, for example, they will call out. So that is the only way they connect. Without that connection, there won't be connection. So when we call out to somebody, that person comes. That means the sound has connected the person and pulled that person. So the best in us can come out only through speech. Okay. Speech is the highest expression of man. And then Swami says Ritham is based on Vak. Ritham means the cause. Everything has to thought, word, and deed. Everything is connected through what's called Ritham, which is truth. Swami is equating that with Rig. Ritham is cognized in Rigs. So if you go to this Chandogya Upanishad, it says Purushasya Vag Rasa means the essence of what sustains. The best expression of Purusha is Vag, speech. Vacha Rig Rasaha means Rig is the essence of speech. So Swami has introduced another explanation here. He says in the speech, Ritham is the essence of speech. That means the best of speech is what we think, thought, word, and deed. What we think is when it's spoken, that's called Ritham. Swami says that is the best among even speech. And that is present in Rig. Rigs are the prayers of the Lord. So when we speak that kind of a truth, that itself is prayer. That itself is a mantra. That will come to be. Swami says, if your thought and word are connected always, whatever you speak will happen. It just will, it cannot go waste. So that is called Rig. Okay, Swami is explaining it further nicely in the discourse. The beauty of the Rigs is found in the Sama, Swami says. Sama Veda, which is when it's sung, the beauty of it comes out in the best way possible. Because music has a way of connecting and expressing the emotions, feelings, and everything in a much better way than just pure prose. So Swami says, beauty of the Rig says, the essence of Rig Veda is Sama. Omkara is the essence of Sama. Om is what makes everything, which is sound. Okay. So this is Chandogya Upanishad, one mantra. Swami nicely explained. So you can imagine how lucky, if only we take the time to study and read, we will understand. Then next time when we go around in this world and do anything, we will understand this. When we speak, we will remember why we are speaking, what we are speaking. Can this be prayer? That becomes Pranava Upasana. Okay, so Brother Dasan, you have your...
So Sairam brother, it's very nice explanation. I would like to add to your point too, brother, based on your wonderful knowledge and explanation. In Tamil, we say Omkarathil Ellame Adakkam. Another thing, even the Vedas, from sound only, everything was created. First, the sound was there in the universe. Another thing, even Vedas, the rishis, or they listen from the sound only. They created these Vedas too, whatever the Lord given to us. So sound is very, very important. Even the plants, we can say if we give a nice sound, it will grow better too. They prove that one. So that is my understanding to brother based on your explanation. Thank you.
Yes, Brother Saira. I think there was a question, there was a statement from Sister Dharini, air is much more important than water. That's what she said. See, we have an understanding of what air is. Air can be of variety of air. But even in the air, the thing which makes us survive is oxygen. The oxygen comes from water. See, there can be all kinds of air. There can be helium, there can be hydrogen, there can be, methane, anything. But oxygen is important. The oxygen comes from H2O. I think we all understand Western style of, that oxygen comes from water. Even for our lung to process the air, water is needed. Air, when it comes into our body, for the body to process, the lungs to, move the oxygen molecules into the body, water is needed to receive that oxygen. So I thought I would just mention that. Brother Kumar, you raised your hand.
No, I didn't want to interrupt any of this discussion. It's fantastic. But I know Dasan is very close to me, but I just want to correct him. In the universe, there is no sound because it's a soundless, empty vacuum. We need the electromagnetic waves to carry the sound because that's what we call electromagnetism. Deshas, we call deshas. In Sanskrit, otherwise we get desane. The Sivapuranatale also, it says that through the electromagnetic waves is what carries the sound. Anyway, I don't want to go and take the time off. But because we live on Earth, we are living, because we came to the Earth about almost after 4.6 billion years, we are only living here about 1 million year or 2 million years of Homo sapiens. But then there are other lives who have evolved, right? About the last 500 million years. My question is, that is because we need water because we evolved into a water carbon-based life here. But I'm thinking, what if another life in another planet or another distance could live in, silicon-based life or anything? So, all this is based on the carbon-based life that we are discussing here, right? That's my understanding. I mean, sorry. I mean, I love Sanskrit. I love this. Dasan knows me, but also when I think about science, I always get, wow. I mean, it's because we live on Earth and we need an atmosphere. So you and I talk, we can hear. We can't, even if you recite the mantra in moon, then we can recite in our essence, but a person in front of me will not know because there won't be a wave to take that sound to that person because there is no atmosphere, right? That's what I was trying to, I wanted to talk, but then I said, but people should know that also, because not that Om sound you can hear everywhere. It's only when there is an atmosphere, when there is a air molecule that can take the sound. Otherwise, sound cannot be transferred. That's what I was trying to say. Anyway, just thought of saying that. Some people should know some science too. That's why. Okay.
Yes, Brother Dasan, you have a question or you want to?
Yeah, so thank you very much for the Kumar explanation too. Even the Buddha, when he started to preach, he doesn't talk. He just passed away some kind of knowledge. Other people can hear it without the sound come from his mouth. Then later that ability is gone. Then that words came out. Then people can understand that also. Okay, brother, you can explain that one too. Thank you, Sai.
Okay, Sai. So for 10:13, I think we'll continue. I think it may take a few sessions. If you all are if you are okay with this kind of, I didn't know whether you all are interested or not. But I thought because these are Sanskrit words, that's why I started doing this. Because to understand what is in Upanishads, Vedas, and what Swami teaches is the purpose. So that is the reason I'm doing this. I hope if it's okay, we'll continue. So just to respond to what Brother Kumar said. See, if we look at Sanatana Dharma, existence has always been there. Creation has always been there. How it changes day to day based on our understanding is different. Even when we say a living being, everything can be different. So for example, as a human being, I understand only my speech. Even let's take human beings. Because all of us understand English, when we speak to each other, we understand. And then there are people who think others who don't know English don't have any knowledge. But if you go into a place where we don't know their language, they will think we are illiterates. They will think they know everything. A dog talks to a dog with a bark. A parrot speaks to another parrot with a squeak. The thing is, our understanding is very limited of what the Omkaram itself. Om is supposed to be any sound which is untouched by anything, no blockage. And then there is Anahata, which is unheard also. So the Omkaram is, we discuss only because we can only work with what we already know. For example, if somebody tells something, then using only what that person says, we can try to figure out what that person is thinking. But that word which was spoken has a seed, therefore a thought. Unfortunately, we have a theory of how things evolved, evolution, theory of evolution of Darwin, science, because we have learned certain ways. Even the number of years, people say, how do we believe that? You know, no one has measured. The fellow who is talking was not even alive 30 years ago. They will say carbon dating, this and that. We believe, ultimately we believe, because I don't know what is carbon, I don't know what is dating. But we believe, because it's in a textbook, or so a few people speak, or we go to pay, we pay and go to university, somebody comes and talks, we believe it. 99.9999% we believe. And we subscribe to it 100%. We will say there's a Big Bang theory, you know, of creation. No one knows what was big, no one knows what is bang. But we have read it, we believe it. Was anyone was there at that time? No one. It's a theory. It has never been proven. But they will say it is science. But the same thing, if a Rishi says, we will say, oh, there's no scientific evidence. Because the person from whom we have learned it does not understand it, we discard. So the thing is, Om manifests in many different ways. We are all fighting about coronavirus. Is virus a living being? No one knows. They will say it's only RNA. That is our understanding. But is it a created being? It is. It is vibrating. It is vibrating. It is not even a DNA. They say it can influence the DNA. We say we have DNA in our body. In which cell DNA is influencing us means no one knows. We have trillions of cells, or millions of cells, or billions of cells. I don't know how many. I don't know. The scientists will count it whichever way they want. But in each cell there is a DNA. So DNA in which cell is causing what to happen, we don't know. And in our own body, trillions and trillions of living beings exist, of which we don't know, and no scientist can even count it in their lifetimes. Our body itself is a vast ocean. So, so the rishis understood this, but they believed that there is a force which makes everything function, which is, I think Brother Kumar was right. He was talking about Taijasa. That's also part of Omkaram. It has Vishnu. So that's from Mandukya Upanishad. So we can discuss that. That is the vibration part, which is what we can. So the radiation. So when Omkara has 4 aspects. One is an unmanifest aspect. The other one is radiation. Then it has something called vibration. Then it has called materialization. All these are explained by Omkara. I think we can discuss that maybe next week. I think I will pause here. Here. See, the thing is whatever I am describing, I have not seen. Okay. My goal is to try to understand what Swami has taught to the extent I can understand. And how can we study it using the scriptures, which are the Vedas and the Upanishads, which is what all great aspirants in this world have read and try to understand. And so that is the whole purpose. I hope if you all are okay with this, we will continue. If you think this is, brother, is not what we want to do, we will change course. I will let your feedback dictate what I should continue or not.
It's very good, brother. Continue.
Okay. Because once we understand Om, then everything else is just add-on, is the way I see it. We will never understand Om completely, because even Brahma apparently didn't understand Om. Okay. So we will never understand, but at least limited understanding we should develop so that we can apply it. Because we see, we all, we chant 3 Oms. Why do we chant 3 Oms? And when we chant Om, what are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to visualize? Why do we chant 3 times? Why can't we chant once? Why we chant at all? Then every day, Swami has said we have to chant 21 times in the morning. What does it mean? Why do we chant? How does each Om in the 21 has to be chanted? All this have to be understood. Otherwise, we are doing everything mechanically without any understanding, and others will look at us and laugh. They will ask, why are you doing? We will say, oh, Sai Baba told us. Then they will ask some couple of questions and we won't know anything, and we will actually put Swami in bad light. So I think this is all basic sadhana which Swami has kept up. So that's why I thought we should spend some time on home and studying, using what is stated in Upanishad and what is told in the discourses by Swami. So that's the whole idea. So I will stop here. So we will close.
Yes, brother.
We will close with Samastaloka. Sayam. Om Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Sairam, everyone.